Hi everyone, I've been through the I'm gonna get the giggles now. Hi everyone, I've been through the K1 visa process. It was really complicated. I had to search online for ages of what to do, what forms to send off, the correct way to do things. So I've made a video to make it easier for everyone. I just thought I'd make a video because the whole process is just long and you find information on various documents and help forms and websites. So I thought I'd make a video just so that it was all in one place and you could get an overview of what to do. One really important thing before you start it all, just make sure that all the forms and everything that you're sending off is up to date, because sometimes they change the dates of the forms so they've actually expired. If you send an expired one off, then they'll just return it to you. The first part of the whole process is filling out the I-129F form. It's a bit of a mouthful. I think you really just need to be careful with this form and just go overkill on it, and imagine somebody sat at a desk, they've got a big pile of forms, and if they get to your form and then there's things missing, they're probably not going to be too happy. When I sent my I-129F form, I made it into a bit of a package. So at the front, it was in a folder, and at the front I put a cover letter in there which just said, we're filing for the fiance visa and these are all the documents that you'll find in this package, and then it was just signed and dated in like a formal letter standard. So you fill out the form, you get to decide who's going to fill it out, so you or your fiance can fill it out, whoever's the lucky one. I actually filled it all out and then sent it over to America to then be sent off after everything that was needed to be added was in it. Make sure when you send it off that it's in the correct order. So whatever you've said on your cover letter, make sure it's in there and put it in that order. The things you need to send in the package are payment, so you have to send this via a cheque. You have to send photographs of you and your fiance. We just made sure that we signed and dated those so then there couldn't be any dispute of how old they were. Also, if you get your picture taken in a photo booth, in England they actually come with the date already on, so I just sent the whole 4 photos. On the form, at part 2, question 34A, they leave a gap and they ask you about how you met in person, but I would definitely send an extra sheet in and then write at the top what that is and just explain how you met in person. I just overkilled that, went into detail from the day we met up until now. So like documented every time we'd met and what we'd got up to and how my fiance proposed to me. I just thought if it's all in there, then they can't dispute whether this is a legitimate relationship or not. So your fiance, who lives in America, will need to send their passport and birth certificate off to prove that they're a US citizen. Otherwise, they will not be able to file for the I-129F. You both have to send a letter of intent to marry. So I just did this very formal letter format of we intend to marry within 90 days, and then just signed and dated at the bottom. I combined the proof of having met in the past 2 years and proof of an ongoing relationship into one document. Another thing that they require is proof that you've met in person within the past 2 years. So I sort of covered this in my part 2, question 34A, where I'd just written about when we'd met, how we met, and then every other time we'd met after that. We also had to prove that we had an ongoing relationship. So for this, rather than getting loads of paper and cutting and sticking and getting paper cuts and just boring myself to death, I downloaded an app called Book Creator where you can actually make like a little scrapbook. So then it was so much easier just to copy and paste pictures from Facebook, take screenshots, and then I organised that so right from where we met, and then all the pictures we had in order by date, and then a little description underneath each one of what we did, when it was. All the details about Book Creator will be in the description below. Another thing that I filled in, you don't have to fill this in, this is optional, but there was a form where you could agree to receiving email notification. I just thought this would be handy to have. So if you've got all this ready, then you can send it off and you survived. I would, before sending it off, photocopy everything just in case by some chance that it all just gets lost. You don't want to have wasted hours and hours. So definitely photocopy it and have a copy saved at home. So the next part was really fun. It took ages, and I mean ages. I just sat waiting for days, crying my eyes out. This part took ages. It was unbelievable. So there's a website that you can go on to check to see what their processing times are. So if I look now, it would say something like they're processing forms from January when it's August. We'd sent them off in March. We heard something around June time, but then we didn't hear anything. So we just heard basically them saying, we've received your forms and they'll be processed. So I imagine at that point they were still in a massive pile. Then we didn't hear anything for ages, or what felt like forever. And then I all of a sudden got a letter from the US Embassy in London. When you receive your letter from the embassy, it's quite relieving at this point because it becomes a lot easier and a lot straightforward. Like, they'll send you a letter and it'll say on the letter a website to go to. So I went online and just had a look at the steps that I needed to follow. One of the steps was filling in a D160 form. So I filled this in. This was so straightforward. It just wanted things like passport number, your name, your address. So it was really straightforward. When you filled in the DS160 form online and sent off your police report and received it, then you can actually ring up and book for your medical exam. Once you've got an appointment, they'll actually email you confirming it. And on the email, it'll tell you everything that you need to bring. So that's really straightforward. It's there in a list in your email of what you need to take with you. A few of the things that I had to get ready were passport, more photographs, and I had to ring up my GP, get an overview of my medical history and get my vaccination record from them. The medical exam cost £300. I was dreading the medical exam from what I'd read from other people that had been and done it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. There wasn't any internal examinations, which I was dreading. I was happy to find out when I went to my medical that there was no extra fee, so it was just £300 and I didn't have to pay for any vaccinations because my nurse had given me them all. Yay! You don't actually hear anything back from the medical. They just send all your results and things directly to the embassy, so you won't get a confirmation that your blood tests were fine and things like that. Maybe the medical would contact you if something went wrong with your results, I'm not sure. Once you've completed your medical, you can get ready to book your interview. So you have to go online and notify the embassy that you're ready, and then as soon as you do that, it gives you a link to actually go and book your interview. You have to pay for it also, and then whenever your interview is, you've just got that time to get all your documents ready. There's a checklist of all the things that you need to take to your interview. So as long as you take everything on that checklist, you'll be absolutely fine. I'd say the most important thing on that checklist would be the affidavit of support. So your fiance needs to prove that they can support you when you do move over to America. If you don't think they would meet the requirements for that form, you could actually also get like some family member, their parents or somebody to fill out one also. The questions that they ask you are really normal questions, like how did you meet, and it's no trick questions. So I know you will be panicking, but try not to because it's actually easier than it sounds. You'll find out on the day whether you're successful or not. Hopefully you are all successful. Good luck. I hope this has been really useful for everyone. If it has, comment below. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask, like, share, and good luck.